This is St. Louis Cardinals baseball. And today from the windy city of Chicago. Old rivalry renewed. We're at Wrigley Field in Chicago. It's the Cardinals and Cubs in a weekend series. There's a look at Carson Kelly, #1 catching prospect in baseball. He has been recalled by the Cardinals, and he'll see his first Major League action of 2017. With Al Raboski, I'm Dan McLaughlin. Jim Hayes is here as well. Carson Kelly is here. Also some other new faces. Let's jump right into it. You heard about it on the pregame show. Let's show you some of the moves. The Cardinals have been busy here the last 24 hours. Randal Grichuk has been activated. Zach Duke, he's in the bullpen. Carson Kelly promoted. There at the bottom, the moves for the Cardinals with the big league club. Sam Tuivailala option to Memphis. Magneuris Sierra to AA. Eric Fryer designated for assignment. So some changes here for the Cardinals. What doesn't change, though, what happens on the mound today? And it's a great pitching matchup, Al. Carlos Martinez and Jake Arrieta.
Well, we hope it does change for Carlos Martinez. The club has lost his last 6 starts. He's pitched very well. Matter of fact, here at Wrigley Field in 9 games, he's had 3 starts and had a good ERA against the Cubs. He really can dominate the right-handed batters.
And on the other side, Jake Arrieta.
Well, his first couple months, they were unlike. They were like he pitched when he was in Baltimore. But in July, he's pitched very well, and you can see by the career numbers, 8-3 and a great ERA against the Cardinals. He has been one of the best pitchers against the Cardinals in all time.
Arrieta has 3 wins here in the month of July. Returning to form, the Cardinals counter with Carlos Martinez. The Cardinals also making a deal within the last hour with Marco Gonzalez. We'll tell you about that after our first pitch. Rivalry weekend begins. The Cardinals and the Cubs. Arrieta Martinez. Does it get any better? Beautiful weather. Baseball is coming up. ago, the Cardinals won 100 games in the National League Central Division. A season ago, the Cubs won 103 and a World Series championship. This year, the two rivals are both trying to figure it out. Who are these teams? The Cardinals have had the most stable starting pitching in the game. Not quite the best, but rarely do these Redbird starters let a game slip away. The offense, it's been off and on, but we've seen plenty of power, speed, and clutch hitting throughout the 2017 campaign. The Cubs, can you say World Series hangover? Most teams regress after a championship, but with guys like Bryant, Rizzo, Russell, and Baez, they are simply too talented to let this season go to waste. There is one thing these two teams have in common. They believe it's still their time to shine. The second half of the season is underway. The NL Central, it's up for grabs. Who wants it more? 3 games between St. Louis and Chicago. One of the game's best rivalries is coming your way next. Baseball on Fox Sports Midwest is brought to you by Bud Light, famous among friends. By Chevy Silverado, the most dependable, longest-lasting full-size pickups on the road. Find yours at your local Mid-America Chevy dealer. By Menards, save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. And by Academy Sports and Outdoors, for all for less. The Cubs have taken to the field. We're at Wrigley Field here in Chicago. Along with Al Raboski, the Mad Hungarian, I'm Dan McLaughlin. Jim Hayes is here as well. The Cardinals coming off one of the toughest losses of the year yesterday in New York. Mike Matheny's club is 46-49. Joe Madden and the Cubs are starting to roll 49-45. They've won 6 straight since after the All-Star break. Jake Arrieta gets the call today for the Chicago Cubs. As Al mentioned during the open, he is pitching very well since 1917. So basically the past 100 years, 322 pitchers have made at least 15 starts against St. Louis. So follow me here. Of those 322, no one has a better ERA against the Cardinals than Jake Arrieta. And here at Wrigley Field against St. Louis, .95. So the Cardinals have their work cut out for him.
Yeah, they really do. He is 0-1 this year against the Cardinals. And I think prior to this month, all of his pitches were down in velocity. But this month, he's kind of found the groove again. Got an ERA under 2 in the month of July and a couple wins in his last 3 games. So we'll see what the Cardinals can do.
Cardinals lineup features Matt Carpenter, Tommy Pham, and Dexter Fowler. Jed Jerko batting cleanup. Then Yadier Molina, Paul DeYoung, Colton Wong, Randall Grichuk recalled prior to today's game, and Carlos Martinez, the pitcher, is batting 9th. Kyle Schwarber is in left field. Around the horn presented by Dobbs. Ian Happ in center. Jason Hayward in right. Baez, Russell, Zobrist, Rizzo on the infield, and Wilson Contreras, big arm, is behind the plate. You come to Wrigley, first thing you do, I think, from a player perspective, is look at the flags. What are they doing? Blowing in, blowing out, left, right, whatever the case may be.
You're right. If you're a pitcher, you cringe when you see the wind blowing out. If you're a hitter, you start smiling and say, I can't wait to hit.
And the first pitch is taken for a ball by Matt Carpenter, a groomsman in Jake Arrieta's wedding. These two very close from their days at TCU.
Carp is hot against him. Last game he got his first hit. It was a long ball, but he's 1 for 29 against his former college teammate.
1 ball and 1 strike, and we flash back that home run at Busch Stadium. May 14th against Chicago. One and 2 the count.
It's hard to believe, though, that Arrieta has dominated that much against Carpenter. 1 for 29.
Jake, a free agent to be, so starting to get that velocity back and the win total back up. ERA dropping just at the right time. Here's a 1-2. Carpenter is swing and a miss, and that's how we start the weekend series.
See the movement on that ball and just running away from Carpenter. Almost look at that attempt and kind of get the sense it goes, I know I'm out.
Some guys, yeah, they've got your number, and that's the case right now.
But you can understand why Mike Matheny would have him in the lineup.
Oh, sure. Here's Tommy Pham. He was 6 for 17 in the series against the Mets. Couple of home runs. Drove in 5.
Well, he's been hot the entire road trip. Yeah, breaking ball.
Now, when you look at the mound, it hasn't been beat up yet in this game. And with a right-hander at the plate, it's a very good indication of just how far Arrieta steps towards the third base line against a righty.
Yeah, he steps way across his body. Remember, he was a marginal pitcher, a journeyman at best when he was with Baltimore, because they told him you couldn't pitch that way. He gets over to the Cubs. Chris Bosio, an old school guy, goes, hey, do what you want to do. And his is thrown across his body. And he's had the success doing so.
Back-to-back strikeouts for Jake Arrieta. And it brings in the former Cub, Dexter Fowler.
Now, it's something that you can't teach somebody to throw this far across their body. It puts a lot of extra strain on the arm. But for him, it works.
Look at that movement, too.
But you can see when you're stepping that, it looks like he's stepping behind a right-handed hitter. And so it's the illusion to a hitter is very uncomfortable.
Here's Fowler with 2 outs and nobody on. Arrieta this year first innings. This is when you have to get him early before he gets locked in. His ERA is over 6, and then after that he settles in. Here's a 1-0. And that'll be a base hit for Dexter Fowler. The return to receive his World Series ring early June. That first at bat, you may recall, he put it in the seats.
And then I think that was the only hit he got in that series. So good start here for Fowler. There'll be a lot of conversations at every base.
Here's Jed Jerko batting .290. So average has dipped to under 300 for the first time in quite a while. 14 home runs, and he's driven in 49. Little tapper foul.
You know, Jerko playing every day is maybe a question. Is he tiring out a little bit? You know, he's hit 185 on this road trip, but he has played very, very well, and one of the big threats the Cardinals have in their lineup.
Those two very close. Anthony Rizzo and Dexter Fowler, teammates in Chicago. When you think about the trade deadline, and a guy like Jerko's name will be thrown around because of the year he's had, a lot of teams look at his contract and realize it's so club friendly it would take a haul to get him, and so you start looking at other assets with other clubs. I mean, there's not many guys that are batting cleanup, playing third every day with the type of deal that Jerko has.
And defensively, he's been very good. So remember the versatility that he has also. So it's not like he has to go to play third base for another ball club.
Here's a 1-1 pitch. Inside.
And the Cardinals are going to have a pretty good idea after this series, and then when they go home and they've got other wild card contenders, Arizona and Colorado coming in town, you have a pretty good idea of where you're going to be at the trade deadline.
Scheduled 13 straight with Chicago, Colorado, Arizona, and then at Milwaukee.
And Milwaukee on top of it. So you can get right back in this race. You can actually take over the lead if you played well in these few games. Yes, there's a lot of games remaining, but there's some alarming signs to this ball club.
Back in safely. Mentioned during the open, we talk about a trade the Cardinals have made today. Marco Gonzalez going to Seattle for the 29th best prospect right now in the entire game. Not just with Seattle, but the entire league. He's an outfielder. He's only 22, and he goes to AAA.
Power hitting outfielder. Does have a few steals, so he might have pretty good speed. And he was, as you said, 29th overall, second best prospect for Seattle. And Marco Gonzalez, what a great kid he is. But after coming to the big leagues, having all the arm problems, I didn't see him as a starter at all. I saw him as another reliever, and so that's a good trade.
3-1 pitch. Get out of play. What it does now is give you a little bit of a logjam with the outfielders, both at the major league level and those that are very close. They're on the cusp of being major leaguers.
And I know that you are playing general manager every day. So what does that tell you? Could be another deal to be made.
There you go. The play behind Dexter Fowler. He's off with his pitch. The 3-2. Tap foul.
See Rizzo apologize. We have to stop our conversation. I have to back up. Throw dirt at him now.
There goes Fowler, and it's a ground ball to third. Gloved nicely by Baez. We'll have to see if there's a lineup change. DeYoung has just moved up what would have been Yadier Molina's spot. Could be a change in the lineup, or maybe just a change defensively. We'll see. All of baseball. Around the horn presented by Dobbs. Pham, Fowler, Grichuk in the outfield. Jerko, DeYoung, Wong, Carpenter on the infield. Kelly behind the plate. And when we get word as to why there's a change, we'll pass it along as Carlos Martinez gets the call today. His numbers presented by Hyundai.
Just a little bit odd when you see that good ERA. It's in the top 10. That he's only 2 games under 500 and has really dominated right-handed batters.
Jason Hayward on the first pitch, a ground ball to DeYoung, and there's one away. Brings in the switch hitting Ben Zobrist, then Anthony Rizzo, Wilson Contreras, Kyle Schwarber, Ian Happ, Addison Russell, Javi Baez, and Jake Arrieta.
Zobrist a lot tougher this year. Very versatile and outstanding player, but see his overall numbers 214. But right-handed, he's switch hitter, batting just 130. Big important piece of their ball club last year and struggling this year.
Jim Hayes went down to visit with John Mozeliak moments ago, and the word is Yadi has ankle discomfort as to why he's not in the lineup. Here's the 1-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Carson Kelly behind the plate. The 2-1. Base hit by Zobrist into center. In steps Anthony Rizzo.
Manny, help me out. Was it early in the season? Rizzo was really struggling offensively, but Bryant was also hurt in the series against St. Louis.
He was. That's right.
Talk is that he will not play this weekend. Bryant, because of he slid head first the other day and sprained a pinky finger in Atlanta. Slid right into the third baseman's foot.
It's fouled back by Rizzo. Talked about it a lot. Stands right on the plate, dares you to pitch him inside. 23 home runs this year. There was a point that even Joe Madden, who's always trying to think outside the box, had Rizzo batting leadoff in their lineup.
And he responded well.
And today that goes to Hayward. There's a ground ball that is foul.
Initially it was going to be Schwarber, but he got off to such a bad start they had to send him down, and then Rizzo took a turn in the leadoff spot, hit some home runs, got kind of jump started his bat, and he's been swinging much better in the last couple months.
They missed Dexter Fowler at the top of that lineup. He was terrific with a .393 on base percentage a season ago. Rizzo was used 10 times as a leadoff man. Zobrist has been there. Hayward today. Schwarber. So trying to find the right combination with their lineup.
Already 5 20 home run seasons for Rizzo.
And the 0-2 is hit out of play. Dexter Fowler with that .393 on base percentage. Not only was it just a terrific year, it was historic because it was the 8th highest in team history for the Chicago Cubs last year. So he really was the guy that got it going.
Remember when he came to St. Louis, Carpenter was in the top 5 in on base percentage, so was Diaz. They were going to be the 3 batters in the lineup. First 3. Of course, it kind of fizzled. But Carpenter didn't hit well in the 3rd hole. Now he's assumed the leadoff spot, hit well again, and Fowler trying to make those adjustments in the 3 hole. And Diaz is in the minor leagues.
Rizzo choking up, and the 1-2. Check swing, and he went. Strikeout for Carlos Martinez. Rizzo having words with the home plate umpire Todd Titchener.
I think if he looked at the replay, he'd see that he did go. Slider down there, his hands come through. You'll see from this angle, you'll see how it crosses the plate, comes all the way through. And you saw also a rarity there, choking up.
I will throw out the win-loss record with Carlos Martinez. It's 6-8, but you think about the lack of run support and the fact that in every other category he's among the league leaders for pitchers when he's on the mound. And conversely, you look at a guy like Adam Wainwright, and some of the numbers when he's on the mound aren't pretty. The win total is he's getting a lot of run support.
Every year it seems to be one man in your rotation that gets an abundance of runs, and then there's one guy that gets none.
If you had one win to get, the guy on the mound is who you're going with. He's the ace of the staff.
You got to give a guy like Wainwright credit. You know, a lot of people
no doubt
take him out of the rotation, do these things. He's an 11-game winner. And there is something. I know some people don't believe wins have as much value as they used to. There's some guys that are just winners and know how to fight their way and survive with run support or lack of run support.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Outfield straightaway and deep for Wilson Contreras, hitting .273. Runner goes, and no throw by Kelly, and the stolen base for Zobrist, his first of the year.
His first attempt to steal, and Carlos really did not pay any attention to him. He got a good jump, and Carlos was just trying to get the third out.
Runner
with the
goes, and no throw by.
The protection he has on his hand.
And a fly ball. Out to left. Pham is back at the wall, and it's gone. Contreras with home run number 14, 2-0 Chicago.
A rarity right there. A right-handed batter hits a home run off him, particularly with 2 outs and a man in scoring position. A microscopic batting average against Carlos Martinez in this situation.
RBIs 49 and 50, and here is Schwarber. Since the break, Contreras now with 9 driven in 6 games. He's getting hot.
He's won all games 6-0 since the All-Star break. And that was a 6-0 road trip.
7 of his 26 career home runs have been against St. Louis. And 4 already this year against the Cardinals.
Got some young, aggressive hitters.
Since the All-Star break, they went through 6 games and won all 6 on the road. Runs per game up, team average at 316. That was really the issue early on for what is a potent lineup, was the fact that they just weren't hitting. Now you could point to Kyle Schwarber got off to a tough start. Hayward was so-so.
Rizzo was under 200 early.
Zobrist wasn't the same as a year ago.
No.
And that's a base hit. 3 hits here in the bottom of the first.
Schwarber had to go down in the minor leagues and work his way back, but he had one of the few guys that hit under 200 on the road trip, but a good start here in the homestand.
Here's Ian Happ, the switch hitter after the base hit to center. Happ made his major league debut against the Cardinals. 13 home runs before the All-Star break. Second most by a Cubs rookie all time. Coming into this year, considered one of their top prospects. And he gives Joe Madden a lot of versatility too. Play all over the diamond.
It's a ball club that Madden was talking about. Well, I know the front office is going to try and do something. They may not get something done, and I'm content with the team I have right now.
Theo Epstein saying it's got to be done with the guys in the clubhouse. 2-0 after the home run by Contreras. Serious number on the run, and the Cardinals partnering to bring fans $6 tickets for games against the Rockies and Diamondbacks. July 24th through the 27th, $6 tickets. They're on sale right now at cardinals.com/6. We understand that Yadier Molina is available to pinch hit, dealing with ankle discomfort. So he was scratched from the starting lineup. DeYoung moves up a spot along with Wong, Grichuk, and then Kelly will bat 8th. Here's a 1-1 pitch to the Cardinals shortstop. And a nice play. Barehanded catch by a fan to our right.
Paul DeYoung went to Illinois State. Not a highly recruited collegiate player, but just got better every year. I was talking to him today about the fact that he had I guess when he got into college, a very good student and was thinking about going the medical route, wanted to become a doctor.
The 2-2. Check swing. Did not go. Full count.
I feel like this, Dan. I asked him, well, do you have any doctors in your family? So I got a great uncle. He goes, I liked his lifestyle. So I wanted to become a doctor.
There you go. Not trying to help mankind. I just help my checkbook. A strikeout of DeYoung, and that's already 3 today for Arrieta and 5 batters. So as we mentioned, the BJC Healthcare difference maker getting better and better as this season goes along. And his ERA is at 1.86. You just wonder, Al, if it's a byproduct of all the innings that he has thrown. The last 2 years, 4th most in baseball. And this year, after that first inning, 109 in his 20th start here today.
Yeah, I think it's a combination of that. And it's every pitch in his arsenal is down a little bit in velocity. There's the curveball, the changeup, The fastball is diminished a little bit, and it's kind of a shock to your mentality. But after 3 months, he's kind of figured out, how do I live with a little less stuff? And I think you'll probably see the velocity go up a tick because he's probably more efficient in his mechanics.
Colton Wong is hitting .304. 1 home run. He's driven in 19. Really an important series for both these clubs, certainly for the Cardinals, trailing Chicago. And you think about today being very important because you have Carlos Martinez on the mound.
He wasted a lot of good pitching performances. Yesterday was a good example. Lance Lynn pitched very well. Pitch got up there a little bit, so he couldn't go beyond 6 innings. But you allow six innings and you only allow 1 run, you're supposed to win those games.
Sure.
And as Mike Matheny said, when you get into the 8th and 9th inning, with a lead with our bullpen, you're supposed to seal those victories.
The 2-2. Little tapper foul. You've been around this game a long time. You played at this ballpark. You broadcast now. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but you never get sick of it, do you? Coming to Wrigley. It's awesome.
It's always fun to come here. And this is my first time in a couple of years, so I'm really impressed with what's going around the stadium.
It's amazing when
the
you
hotel,
go. Yeah.
Behind the left field stands, you get their new offices out there beyond the right field or the left field bleachers. You get another project going on behind the right field stands. I mean, it's really starting to take shape.
3-2. The video boards.
Oh yeah, I've been here since the video boards.
The bullpens are now under the bleachers.
I missed that part.
Yeah.
Because they were down the sides, and of course they take away more foul territory to give a little more seating.
Here's a 3-2 pitch.
My line too. I love this place. I used to sit down there in the bullpen and fans right over your shoulder. They told me how talented my mother was. The things they told me she could do was unbelievable. I was so impressed.
It's impressive, huh?
Oh.
9th pitch of the at bat here to Wong. He's thrown 21 to the last 3 hitters. And he strikes out. So back-to-back strikeouts to start the top of the 2nd.
That pattern there all over the plate. You see the breaking ball, the late break to it. Like you're sitting there, and then at the last second, it just kind of drops a couple inches.
Randall Grichuk, his return to the big leagues. Magneuris Sierra was sent down. Talked to John Mozeliak about the decision. I said, it's not real popular back home in St. Louis. And he said, and I didn't mean that as a shot to Grichuk, just Sierra not being here. And he said, I get that. I understand it. He said, one of the things, though, you have to realize is that we're trying to make sure that he's being exposed properly. He said, there's a reason he's not hitting 350 down at AA or when he's at AAA. He said teams can really scout him because he's just, basically right now a singles hitter. So we're trying to continue the proper development with him.
Also, remember what Tim McCarver told you in New York, talking about, I think he was saying that he was at A-ball and had a manager that told him as you go up the ladder, it's easier to hit for some people because you see more strikes. And Tim, in my day, you had the fear factor of the young kid that threw hard and had no idea where the ball was going. So when you come up to the big leagues, everyone's pretty much around the plate. And you see a lot more strikes. Better stuff, more consistently with the off-speed stuff, but they're around the plate and you have that comfort zone.
The 2-2. Grichuk. High fly ball out to deep left. Schwarber back at the ivy, and it's gone. Home run, Randall Grichuk. Welcome back. Number 10 this year. And the Cardinals get on the board. Their first hit is a home run, and it makes it a 2-1 Chicago lead.
Randall Grichuk played one game on a rehab at Double-A, and he hit a home run, a 3-run home run to tie that game. He also had 2 strikeouts earlier in that game. But here he got a hanging breaking ball. You saw the adjustment, kept the hands back, and was able to pull the trigger. And this is what excites you about Randall Grichuk. He has that awesome power. Just ever since he came over to trade with the Angels, it's one of the first things that everyone noticed was his long ball potential.
So a 2-out solo home run. And the batter is Carson Kelly. 0-2. You think this might be a good way to get your feet wet back in the big leagues? Don't think you're starting, and then all of a sudden throw on the gear, go get them.
Some value to that. Miss Eric Fryer, what a class act he was. Really struggling, and interesting that the Cardinals bring up Carson Kelly at this time. But let's see what he can do today.
We saw a lot of him in spring training. Molina was out with the WBC World Baseball Classic, so Kelly and Fryer.
He just turned 23 on July 14th. He was hitting .283, 10 home runs, 41 RBIs, and the starting catcher in the All-Star game for the Pacific Coast League.
1-2 pitch is tapped foul. Cardinals now join the Dodgers as the only 2 teams in the National League with 7 players that have 10 or more home runs. Yachty, one of those players of the 7.
7, but none over 15. 15 and above.
Rounder that's hit to third, gloved by Baez, and Kelly retired. Solo home run by Randall Grichuk. Now 8 hits against the Cubs this season. 3 home runs, couple of doubles, good numbers against Jake Arrieta. It's 2-1. St. Louis, bottom of the second, as we check in with Jim.
Dan, John Mozeliak, like a lot of Cardinal fans, very frustrated with yesterday's loss. He told me players need to look in the mirror. We had John on the pregame show. He was very candid about the way things are going with his team in his view. He told me everyone talks about we need to add this, we need to add that. I think we need to add a little bit of a shake-up in the clubhouse. I think from an attitude and approach standpoint, it needs to change. It can start today. Mo added, my hope is that people realize we're not content with what we're seeing. And from a player standpoint, I hope they realize that too. We are all accountable. Dan?
Interesting stuff. And that was on the pregame show with Jim. let's face it, he's right.
Yeah, no doubt about it. There's something that's missing.
Here's a 1-2 pitch. Off the end of the bat into center, base hit. Addison Russell. 4th hit allowed by Martinez. We turn to our Toyota keys to the game. Carlos Martinez, today's starter for the Cardinals at Wrigley Field. 3 quality starts and a 3.38 ERA.
By the way, the strikeout of Rizzo in the first inning was number 600 in Carlos Martinez's young career.
Here's Javi Baez. Double play ball. 6-4. 3 on the double play as Baez never got out of the batter's box.
Strange.
Well, we'll take a look here. It's a State Farm double play and a hard hit ball. Baez slipping out of the batter's box.
Carpenter catching the ball and looking to say, where is he?
Yeah.
I think that's a 13th double play that Carlos has induced. He's been getting ground balls about 50% of the time. And here's the at bat. See, he went to slip, fell down, and stay down.
Jake Arrieta does have a home run and a triple. Batting 143. Opposing batters talk about trying to take a very simple approach against Carlos Martinez because his stuff is so good. Well, 3 of the 4 hits have gone up the middle until that one to right field by Arrieta.
That was a great note that just went down the drain.
So 2 hits in the inning, and here's Jason Hayward. Last 7 games, he's got 7 RBIs and hitting nearly 450, so he gets the top spot.
Carlos has given up 3 hits to right-handed batters, and right-handers came in batting 170 against him.
Hayward grounded out to short, first time up in year 2 of that long-term contract here in Chicago. Left St. Louis had a poor season, down year, but helped the Cubs win the World Championship.
It's good speech maker. Rain delays in Game 7. So Arrieta running, so Carpenter doesn't like him. His best buddy.
Playing behind him, and there's a little tapper foul. Wrigley Field still filling up, but not a seat to be had today, tomorrow, Sunday night.
Great environment, isn't it? It's packed like this, and a great rivalry with friends on both sides. Kind of go out there and have bragging rights for the year.
Husbands and wives divided. Kids out to left center, and the catch made by Fowler. We played 2 here at Wrigley Field in Chicago, and it's a 2-1 Cubs lead. And baseball on Fox Sports Midwest is brought to you by your St. Louis area Volkswagen dealers. Jack in the Box. Come try the sweet or spicy barbecue bacon cheeseburger combo for $4.99. Limited time only. And by Academy Sports and Outdoors, for all for less. It's beyond the left field wall. I should say the bleachers down the third base and left field side. And here's Carlos Martinez. And the first pitch is strike. We're underway here in the third inning. A little bit low, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. So Todd Tichenor calling the balls and strikes. Adam Hamari is at first. Dan Bellino at second. And Kerwin Danley, the crew chief, is at third. 1-2 the count. Here's a 1-2. Are the Cubs the team to beat in the Central Division? Brewers have lost 5 straight. They'll be in Philadelphia later tonight. Matt Garza against Aaron Nola. Chopped off the plate. Arrieta steps and throws and makes the play. Pittsburgh at Colorado. Trevor Williams for the Pirates. The Pirates only 3 back.
Pirates find themselves in 4th place, looking up at the Pirates.
MLB.com at bat, your #1 mobile app for live Cardinals baseball. Stay connected with a fully customizable experience. Home screen icons, app features, as well as game day. Download MLB.com at bat today. Happy birthday to Al. Happy birthday to Al. Happy birthday, Al.
Thank you, but I stopped having those a few years ago.
You tell me that every year. We're on the 21st of July. Happy birthday, Mr. Raboski.
Thank you, sir.
One ball and 1 strike. Carpenter struck out back in the first. Arrieta first time through the lineup, 2 hits, no walks, 4 strikeouts to home run. And a fly ball lifted out to center. Ian Happ started in, goes back, makes the catch. And there's 2 away.
And watch Arrieta and think about all these pitching coaches that think that there's one way to teach everyone how to pitch. Now you can understand why when he was young in Baltimore they wanted to change him to take stress off his arm, because the way he pitches across his body does put a lot of stress on you. But for some guys, that's just their natural way. And there's not one way you can teach everything. Remember when Mark Pryor was coming into baseball professionally, said, oh, there's the guy who's got perfect mechanics. Well, how long did it take him to break down? Never really had that longevity. But Arrieta, because of him throwing across his body, is very, very tough for these hitters. And even a left-handed hitter, you know, the right-handers are really bad because it looks like he releases it behind a hitter. But even a left-hander, it seems like he's releasing it so far away from him that it's not going to get to you. And normally you're going to sit there and a pitcher's going to throw the ball and pretty much step straight forward. And watch where he steps. It's the one on the left. His right foot, the one in the middle, is about where he should be, or you would think he would be. But he steps so far across his body, and then you got to use all that effort. But he's a real physical specimen, and he built those muscles up that he could handle it.
Pham lines it out to left, and it's off the ivy. Played perfectly by Schwarber. Tommy thinking too, diving in, safe at second base.
Well, there's a great slide, and I'm going to tell you right now, this is why Bryant says, I'm not going to change from sliding head first because I can alter my movement. And you can see as the throws for the infield side, he was able to pull his left hand, I believe it would be his left hand back, and reach second base. Perfect execution by Schwarber. Good strong throw. A little bit inside, and watch Tommy. The left hand stays back, and the right hand goes around and touches the base first.
What a great slide by Tommy Pham. The athleticism knowing that the right hand is going to come off and then to put the left hand back on.
And see, that's what Chris Bryant is saying. Well, by sliding head first, I can do those things. He's been injured twice. Now it's the pinky finger. And one time, I believe it was at second base, he ran his head into the shortstop covering the bag at second base, and they worried about that.
That double, to me, sums up what Tommy Pham is all about this year.
Hustle. Wanting to play, wanting to be better every single game.
That ball was played perfectly by Schwarber. There's a fly ball into the gap in left center. That ball will get down. One hops off the ivy. Pham will score. Fowler trotting into second base. It's a brand new game. It's 2-2. And Dexter is 2 for 2. But how many players, number one, have the speed of Tommy Pham, but number two, the guts with a liner like that coming off the bricks behind the ivy, and when it's played perfectly like that, take that chance that Tommy Pham did.
Well, and we'll take a look at Fowler right here, right up there in the bat, so it's not going to carry straight away center. It's going to be in between Schwarber and Happ, and places it up against that wall. And as you say, we got a new ball game.
Jed Jerko.
I think what you got to think about, Dan, is when you're going to hit doubles, you got to leave the batter's box thinking too. And then he pretty much was, because of his speed, he was pretty much out in no man's land where he had already committed that he was going to go to second. And then he had the awareness to watch where the throw was and how to avoid the tag.
And it's a smart play with 2 outs. Go for it.
Yeah, there are times when you know, if you got thrown out there, you know, it's worth it because it took a perfect executed play.
It was Fowler's first extra base hit since the 7th of July, which was a home run against the Mets. One and two. Also a happy birthday, number 12 for Cameron Hickert. Watching the game on Fox Sports Midwest. Happy birthday to Cameron. 1 and 2 the count with 2 outs. It's a 2-out rally here by the Cardinals with back-to-back doubles. Little soft liner that's hit to second base, and Zobrist puts it away. The double by Pham takes a chance with 2 outs. An incredibly athletic slide. Stayed on the bag. It pays off. Fowler drives him in. 2-out RBI double, and the extra base hit also hit by Randal Grichuk with a home run. We're tied up. It's now 2-2. The Kia in the driver's seat. The run support 63rd from Carlos Martinez. So going back to why the record, at least in part, sits at 6 and 8. Look at run support.
Yeah, and also he's had a little trouble in the first inning.
That's hit down the right field line, and it's fair. Off the bat of Ben Zobrist. Dug out by Grichuk. Throw into second. Off line. And it's a leadoff double. Zobrist is 2 for 2.
He's now 7 for 18 off of Carlos.
The batter will be Anthony Rizzo. Struck out swinging, the only strikeout that Martinez has had today. The 2-run home run by Contreras. Back in the first, Cardinals have come back with 2 of their own. Softly hit to the right side, gloved by Colton Wong. Advancing Zobrist from second to third.
He got jammed right there, but he's so strong he was able to fight it off and advance the runner to scoring position with just 1 out. Remember I said that what Contreras did was such a rarity against Carlos Martinez. Right-handed batters were batting only 170 against him and just 125 with runner in scoring position at 2 outs. He hit the 2-out home run. He's now 8 of the 11 runs.
Little chopper towards third, and that is a foul ball.
8 of the 11 runs that Martinez has allowed in the first inning have come via the home run.
That call there is by the home plate umpire until it gets to the bag at third. And you'd see Kerwin Danley make that call, but it was made by Todd Tichenor. Well, the infield is drawn in. Martinez would love the ground ball. He's gotten 5 ground ball outs so far today. And the catch made by Wong.
Positioned perfectly right there. I'm sure Martinez thought for a minute, like, oh, I missed it. He's going to go in for a base hit, but didn't know his second baseman was right behind him.
I wonder if this just caught the top of his glove. Maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
That's one you're saying, oh, I'm glad I missed it.
Yeah, don't deflect it away from Wong. Good to see Colton playing with such confidence.
There's Kyle Schwarber, base hit to center, first time up. I think we all thought, anybody around the Cubs, certainly those across Major League Baseball, saw what he did in the World Series, in which he basically missed the entire year, goes in the World Series, puts up numbers, and you think, well, that'll carry over to the regular season. Not that easy.
Everyone thought that because he's such a natural hitter.
Here's a 1-0. Ground ball. That's fair. That's called by the first base umpire, Adam Hamari. Somehow it stayed fair, and Martinez out of this third inning jam. It's 2-2. Sports and Outdoor leaderboard. Lowest ERA against St. Louis, and even 2 for Jake Arrieta coming into play. Great names on that list: Gary Gentry, Al Downing, Dennis Martinez, and Kevin Brown. The batter is Paul DeYoung. He struck out first time up. That's off the mask of Contreras, it looked to be. And strike 1. Boy, he is jumpy back there.
Oh yeah, he's got a lot of energy, and be careful when you're on the bases the way he throws.
He's thrown out 16. He's picked off 9 this year. Remember, Miguel Montero was released by the Cubs after critical comments of pitchers not being able to hold runners on.
And particularly after an Arrieta game.
Here's the 0-2.
I believe there were, what, 7 stolen bases in that game?
I believe so. It was in Washington. Trey Turner had 4 of them.
Right.
Strikeout number 5 for Jake Arrieta.
Paul DeYoung is kind of in a little bit of a rut right now.
He's in between. He's seeing more breaking balls.
Sure. You know, they made an adjustment on it. They're paying a lot of attention because of his success.
And there's a curveball to Colton Wong, struck out back in the 2nd inning. Pitch count already at 66 for Jake Arrieta with 1 out here in the 4th. And strikeouts will do that. He's gone deep into counts with a number of hitters early on.
Paul DeYoung is now 4 for 31 on the road trip with a bunch of strikeouts. But
see Arrieta, by the way, just questioning the strike zone. Contreras shaking his head. He held the ball fairly long in that previous pitch, and then Arrieta had words.
And you can see Contreras and the home plate umpire conversing and talking about the strike zone. I was with Jim Palmer over the Wednesday at an event in D.C. and we were talking about how we used to be able to talk to an umpire and question and ask, and they didn't take offense.
6 strikeouts. Back in the 2nd inning, this solo home run for Randal Grichuk, number 10 this year. The Cardinals with 7 players with 10 or more home runs.
A little bit of a hump in that breaking ball, and he took advantage of it.
Grichuk has been one of the Cardinals that actually has hit Arrieta fairly well.
He's 7 for 19 with 2 home runs.
And the 1-0.
Slaps that back leg to keep it anchored. Pitch recognition as they try to expose him on breaking balls away.
2-0 pitch. Fouled back.
See, something looks like he's choking up a little bit.
Yep. By design. 2-1.
Look at that pitch right there running in on him. Late break and just exploded in on his hands.
Three and 2 the count.
Here's where he's got to be disciplined. If I were giving a sky report, I'd tell Arrieta to throw a breaking ball here. Nobody on base. And you got 2 outs. You know, keep it off the plate. Doesn't even have to be a strike.
And a high fly ball. Lifted into right field. Hayward makes the catch. The Gold Glover puts it away. 4 in a row by Jake Arrieta. A couple of strikeouts this inning. With Jim.
Yeah, and it's pretty remarkable that Zach Duke is back. He had that offseason Tommy John surgery and was expected to miss all of this year. But Duke was activated today. He told me he surprised himself with a quick recovery. He said, I kept waiting for a setback and preparing myself for the worst. To this point, it hasn't come along. Duke also told me his rehab assignment went better than expected. He said, I wanted to prove I could go 2 or 3 days in a row and only need 1 day to recover. I did that. Now it's a matter of doing it at this level. And Dan, he said his only concern dealing with the adrenaline spike in his first game back whenever that comes.
Such a weapon for the Cardinals a year ago. And it wasn't just about being a lefty specialist. He was able to go full innings, lefties or righties.
Yeah, he did an outstanding job and used an awful lot since he came to the Cardinals at the trade deadline from the White Sox. And he told me, I saw him last year at the Night of Memories in Evansville, Indiana in January, and he said he had a partial tear for 9 years. And then it finally gave way. Do you know what I really think about his recovery? Because he willed it. You know, he started talking, I'm going to come back, I'm going to come back. And really didn't dwell on the negativity or, you know, what could go wrong. You know, you're thinking about it, like you said, and his rehab, I don't think he gave up a run.
The 2-2. Ground ball that's hit towards Wong. Backhands. Flips to first. What a play. Colton Wong takes a hit away from Ian Happ. And that's what Wong brings to the Cardinals, the athleticism at second base.
Yeah, he can make those special plays like this, and then sometimes you get mad at him for not making the routine. But he has that ability with his range and a strong arm that he can go towards the outfield, reverse and throw, and get a pretty speedy runner.
Here's Addison Russell. Tapped foul. We talk about the usage of Zach Duke, and that to me will be the interesting part of how he's used, at least initially.
4 lefties now in that bullpen.
Cecil, Duke, Lyons, Segrist, and then Zach Duke going on back-to-back days or multiple days. How much can he be used in a week? And a line drive that's lifted out to right, and the catch made by Randall Grichuk. You know, he's hearing it from the fans in the bleachers.
Randall did a nice job right there. We rarely see him play right field. So the ball comes off the bat at a different angle, but he goes back on it, checks, sees where that wall is, and then catches it about in the middle of the warning track. You don't want to run into that wall because, yes, it's ivy, but it's concrete, you know, it's brick. A brick wall behind it.
So 2 outs, and here's Javi Baez, and strike 1. Get you caught up if you just joined us. Grichuk, Duke, Carson Kelly all added to the roster. Tuivalala sent down to AAA. Sierra AA. Fryer designated for assignment.
Tuivalala gets sent down again with, I think it's a 2.17 ERA.
He's done a good job.
He's done a really good job. And you know, at some point, other teams notice that.
Here's a 1-1 pitch to Javi Baez. Trade today. Marco Gonzalez, who was out of options, sent to Seattle. And then Tyler O'Neill, a 22-year-old outfield prospect, 29th overall in Major League Baseball. Tremendous power coming to AAA. Here's a 1-2. Inside. So Gonzalez, for the most part, in my mind, did not fit in the plans for the Cardinals, certainly in their rotation next year. And if he's out of options, he would have been picked up if you sent him down. So trying to get something for him, and it's a good deal.
Sounds like it.
2-2 pitch. High fly ball lifted out to center. Fowler back, shading from the sun with room, and makes the catch. A 1-2-3 inning for Carlos Martinez, and good defense along the way.
Thank you.
Well, you're really excited about it.
Well, when you've had as many as I've had, you kind of lose a little interest.
A strike to Carson Kelly.
Just get reminded how old you are.
You're a young man at heart, Al.
Of course, every time I wake up, I know how old I am.
Your body tells you.
Yep.
Kelly, a couple of hops into second, and he's 0 for 2. Cards Kids comes back tomorrow on Fox Sports Midwest. Fred Bird preparing for a big 5K and a fundraiser in St. Louis. That's at 11 tomorrow. Well, Arrieta has retired the first 2 hitters each inning. We're in the 5th. And all 4 of the Cardinal hits have come with 2 outs. 2-2 our score. Martinez drops to a knee. Grounded back to Jake. in the third, and he's 0 for 1.
He had to strike out 6 in this ball game. First 2 batters, instead he had no hit stuff. What a great trait for the Cardinals to battle and to get not only the game tied, but as you said, get these 2 out base hits.
1-2 the count on Carlos Martinez. He evens it up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Chopped foul. Sarah mentioning that the Brewers have lost 5 straight. They'll play later tonight. Pittsburgh at Colorado. The 2-2. So it's a division in which no one is running away with it. No great records, but yet could be a lot of fun in the final 2 months.
One thing you worry about is the way that the Cubs are playing right now. And in the second half, they have the majority of their games here in Wrigley. They're one of the few clubs that have a better than 500 record at home and on the road.
Arrieta, that great movement, tough to center up. That's now 18 foul balls hit by the Cardinal hitters. It's a good indication. Tough to center up. Puts it in play. Loved by Russell. And Martinez is out number 2. The T-Mobile Unlimited Baseball break and what's happening around the game today. Chris Sale starts tonight against the Angels. Max Scherzer against Arizona, his former team. He's 11-5 and 5-0 against the Arizona Diamondbacks, and Alex Wood against Atlanta.
How about you put Alex Wood and Kershaw's numbers together, and I think they have 2 losses for the season.
And start looking at what Rich Hill is doing too. They are in quite a roll. 2-2 our score. Top of 5. Here's Carpenter. And Carpenter lifts a fly ball out to center field. Ian Happ makes the catch. 7 in a row for Jake Arrieta. Martinez back to work. Friday, July 28th, 30,000 fans 16 and older have the opportunity to take home a replica of the 67 trophy. Stands at 6.5 inches tall. It's an item you don't want to miss. July 28th, Diamondbacks in town, and Cardinals.com/promotions to get your tickets. Bottom of the 5th, and it's 2-2.
Wilson retired 6 in a row. And look at his dyed hair. It reminds me of a rookie prank. That
ground ball that's hit to short and right through Paul DeYoung. His 4th error this year.
And it's his 4th error, but I'm not sure if that's his 1st error at shortstop. But right through the wickets. Went down and the ball got underneath him, and you see to put the glove all the way down on the ground, it's easier to come up rather than go down. And you don't want him to think about his offense, and take it into the field.
Back to the top of the lineup, and Jason Hayward. Think about the last 2 games against New York. The misplay on a potential double play with a shift on in game 3 against the Mets. Throw by Jerko went into right field. And then yesterday, the misplay by Rosenthal not covering the bag at first. Little things, we say it all the time, but little things add up at this level.
And they beat you. Good clubs will take advantage of those mistakes, whether they're physical or mental.
Hayward rips it into right. Arrieta stopping at second base.
Almost got thrown out.
Well, you're wondering about Kershaw and Wood and when they start. The Dodgers, by the way, combined with those two, 29-5. Can't catch the games on TV? You can stream them live on your mobile device. Fox Sports Go. Adam Wainwright, who's going to catch it today? It's Yachty. Download the app. Take Fox Sports Midwest and Cardinals baseball with you wherever you go. Zobrist 2 for 2 with a run scored. Single and a double. Stolen base. First 2 have reached. Just 191 with runners in scoring position for the longest time. The Cubs, in terms of runners in scoring position, batting average, they were 30th in the league. One ball and 1 strike.
Let's talk about how you have to stay on top of the ball. Get underneath it, becomes a frisbee. Might have movement, but it's lateral instead of going down. There you saw him stay on top of that one, and you saw the drop in the velocity. Have to be tough, but these are pressure-packed innings when you have 2 runners on and nobody out. You really have to bear down.
Here's a 1-2. Rizzo on deck. Pulled foul. Cardinals will have Pham, Fowler, Jerko looking ahead to the 6th. Will it be a 2-2 score? Seems like every game is a nail-biter for the Cardinals, one way or another. Tight ball games all season long. Ground ball hit to short, could be a force play at third, and it is. Runners at first and second. The question is, did DeYoung have a chance to turn 2?
Yeah, I mean, that's, you get the lead man, but it's not really hit that hard. Zobrist running from the left side. Decided to get sure out in front, and with the ability of Martinez to get ground balls, now it's up to him to get a double play now with one out. It works if you get the double play and keep them from scoring.
8 ground ball out so far for Martinez. Fastball, got a little jump on it, 99 to Rizzo.
And that's where Carlos has really learned. It's something that Lance Lynn has done, but Carlos has more explosive fastball. And he'll throw a lot of sinkers getting those ground balls, but he can reach back and get that high velocity, triple digits when he needs it when you're in a jam like this.
And the 1-0 pitch to Rizzo. Hit sharply past Carpenter, fair ball. Off the sidewall. Run will score. That's Hayward. Zobrist to third. And it's 3-2 Chicago.
Rizzo's one of those tough outs that he'll answer the challenge when you get runners in scoring position for him right there. Talk about the ground balls, but also a lefty's a low ball hitter, and so he hits this one right there just inside the bag. Obviously it was hit hard enough that if it would have been at a fielder, it was a sure double play, but inside the bag, goes down in the corner, and they now have the 3-2 lead.
Runners at the corners. Wilson Contreras will come to the dish. He was up back in the third with a runner at third, the infield end. Martinez got the soft liner hit to Colton Wong, and then Schwarber grounded out to get out of that jam. So again, you need that ground ball, potentially the double play or strikeout.
Easier for him to do it against a right-handed batter. Keep the ball down.
First pitch is taken for a ball. Schwarber on deck.
The reason he had such great success against right-handed batters is because of that slider, put away slider, swing and miss. But also the electric fastball. He can throw the sinker or the slider.
Grounded into 10 double plays. 2-0. That was Rizzo's first RBI against the Cardinals this year in 32 at bats. They've done a pretty good job against him. He stands at first. Zobrist at third. The 2-0. Double play ball. Little flip by Wong. DeYoung fires to first. 4-6-3 on the double play. Contreras now 11 that he's grounded into. Rizzo with the RBI. And coming up, one of the Cardinals' best in Tommy Pham. Voracek to the lineup for the St. Louis Cardinals. That home run off of Jake Arrieta. Then with a 2-out rally later, the Cardinals with Pham, a double, incredible slide, and driven in by the former Cub Dexter Fowler. That made it 2-2, and an unearned run charged to Martinez. It's now a 3-2 Chicago lead here in the top of the 6th.
Been so fun to watch Tommy Pham this year. Didn't make the team out of spring training, really struggled. One of the last cuts for the Cardinals, but came up May 5th. And since that time, he's been one of the most productive Cardinals. Yesterday, drove in both runs.
We're in the top of the 6th, 3-2. The first pitch to him is tapped foul. Kubota Power Stats inserting Tommy Pham. This is road games, highest OPS, on base plus slugging percentage. Tommy Pham, 4th best. And maybe finally it's all come together for Tommy Pham this year. Health, proper vision, all the things that have plagued him in his career.
Since June 16th, he's second in the National League in hits.
And the 0-2. Home road splits. Tommy Pham at home 261. On the road, that's where he's done his best damage. 11 home runs, 352 the average. 1 for 2 today with that double off the wall and left. And Pham hits a high fly ball out to Hayward, calling for it, and makes the catch. One out, and it brings in Dexter Fowler.
8 in a row retired. Last Cardinal base hit was the RBI double by Fowler back in the 3rd. 2 for 2. 2 for 2 against his former teammate. Yeah. 3 for 5 when facing Arrieta.
Out to center. That ball will drop, in these 3 for 3 today. One out base hit. The first Cardinal hit since all the way back in the 3rd.
The thing I can figure out is he's got more conversation with Rizzo.
There you go.
Didn't complete it.
It was 8 in a row set down by Arrieta, and here's Jed Jerko.
0 for 2 today and just batting 185 on the road trip.
Jerko rips it out to left. Schwarber going back, makes the catch, leaping up, and takes that hit away. Fires to first base, and back in Fowler.
Very nice play. Schwarber, a catcher, but really no real position for him. Put him out in left field, and he comes up with the beauty of a catch. Last second, reaches up and hauls it in.
Chris Bosio, the pitching coach of the Cubs, wants to visit with Arrieta. Nice play by Schwarber. And they try to deke Fowler going back to the bag at first base. Lefty Brian Dunsing is getting loose in the pen for the Cubs.
Dunsing has been one of those guys that unheralded, doing a really good job for the Cubbies.
That's their bullpen now. They have a camera there, so you can see who's warming up. Pedro Strop looks like he'll join them. That's under the bleachers.
Well, you can see the pitch count up at 92. And he struck out 6 through the first 4 innings, and that helps get that pitch count up, and all the foul balls the Cardinals have had today.
Martinez Carlos had 69 pitches today. Here's Paul DeYoung with a runner at first and 2 outs. He's committed an error that led to a run. He struck out twice, 0 for 2, and Fowler back in safely.
Paul has 22 extra bases in his first 43 games. That's most by any Major League player in his first 43 games in 2017.
Just back in safely. Contreras, by the way, worth repeating, he's had 9 pickoffs this season, most in the bigs.
He loves to throw. And Young, see that outside pitch. Rizzo has to be very active. He gets himself in position, and of course Dexter Fowler knows all about Contreras. Got a cannon, doesn't he?
Sure does. Fowler at first, and the 1-0. He's running. Contreras to second, and safe at second base as Fowler holds on. The stolen base for Dexter, number 4. A little extra jump today to face his former team.
Yeah, it really does. And Arrieta's slow to the plate, but look at this rifle arm. All high into the third base side allows Dexter to get to the base ahead of the tag. And then it's like Zobrist holding the tag on, trying to semi-push him off at the same time.
That will find the seats out of play. It's a great example, though, of why any infielder should always continue to hold the tag with replay in the game today.
Used to be the phantom tags or stepping on second base. Umpires used to let you get away with it, but not now with video. You got to hold that tag on, and a lot of times guys slide beyond the bag and get people out that way.
Two and two the count. Sometimes you tippy toe, sometimes you just got to keep that fingertip on the bag.
Hold on. Ooh.
Big crowd starts to come alive. Tying run in scoring position. The 2-2. DeYoung pops it up on the infield. Rizzo wants it. He's got it. And Fowler left stranded at second. Midway through 6, Cubs on top. At the ballpark, presented by Thrivent Financial. Coming up, the featured speaker, Lance Berkman. Tickets or information, visit Cardinals.com/Christian Day. Schwarber, Happ, and Russell coming up. Kyle is 1 for 2. The base hit to center, also grounded out to first. There's ball 1. Cubs picked up a 2-run homer by Contreras in the first, and an RBI single by Anthony Rizzo in the 5th, and they lead 3-2. Two balls and no strikes. Crowd today 42,186. 4-2-186 here at Wrigley. And with a strike on Schwarber, 3 infielders on the right side. The 2-1. Quick hands of Schwarber, and a fastball at 98 from Carlos Martinez.
Rushing it up there. The natural arc of a left-handed hitter is down. When you get that ball above the hands, it's hard for them to reach it. That ball was by him before he started to react.
Three-two. Base hit into center. Schwarber 2 for 3.
Schwarber struggled on the road trip. Wasn't hitting at all, but 2 for 3, as you said, against Martinez, both times taking the ball up the middle.
It's Martinez's first 3-ball count all day. So got into a hitter's count. Schwarber with a single into center field. There's Ian Happ, grounded to Carpenter. Grounded out to Wong, and made a very nice backhanded play. Up the middle, that's a base hit. Schwarber to second. He'll stop there. Almost looked like Fowler, knowing Schwarber so well, was trying to deke him into going to third.
2 guys knowing each other. So sits there and maybe says, okay, I'm going to take advantage and see if I can take that extra base against Dexter, but Dexter got the ball, fired it back into second. He had to dive in head first.
Russell is 1 for 2. Lined out to right, single to center.
And he hit 400, 409. Couple home runs on the road trip. 1 for 2 today.
It's 10 hits allowed by Martinez, ties his season high. I was wondering, would we see a bunt potentially out of Russell? They had activity in their bullpen, which leads you to believe that they would potentially send Arrieta back out there, or maybe not. You could put 2 in scoring position and put more pressure on the Cardinals and Carlos Martinez.
6 of the 10 hits have been against left-handed batters.
So Joe Madden giving him the first strike, at least in the count, to swing away, maybe drive him in. He's had 2 good plate appearances today with that base hit and line out, and then with the strike on, puts the bunt play on. Devin Segrist is throwing in the Cardinals bullpen, and up and ready to roll. And he struck him out.
He almost did a Jerry Coleman there. Jerry Coleman, great broadcaster for the Padres and war hero. He was doing a game one time and said Rich Folkers was throwing up in the bullpen.
You can't laugh at yourself. Who can you laugh at? Right? Here's Javi Baez, and a pinch hitter has moved to the on-deck circle.
It's only the 2nd strikeout today for Carlos Martinez. Kind of an indication, all the hits and lack of strikeouts, so he doesn't have his best stuff. but still keeping his team right here in this game.
Last time he gave up 10 hits was in 2015, and it was to the Chicago Cubs.
Like they came out with a game plan to be very aggressive against him, and that makes sense with his good, wipeout slider. He's trying to hit early in the count when he's trying to get ahead of it.
Cardinals have turned 2 double plays behind Carlos. Tommy La Stella, left-handed batter, at the on-deck circle. Oh, 2. Got him. There's that slider. So back-to-back strikeouts after the first 2 had reached. Tommy La Stella will pinch hit, and that'll be it for Arrieta.
You see the breaking ball right there, gets on the side of it, create that dot. Stella has been a pretty good pinch hitter for the Cubbies. He's 5 for 16, 4 walks, 2 hit batters, 500 on base percentage as a pinch hitter this year. And on Wednesday, he went 2 for 3 with a homer and a walk. Conference out here just.
Well, Carlos has done a great job today minimizing damage, getting out of jams. The double play back in the second. You look in the third, they had a runner at third base, only 1 out, could not score. In the 5th inning, could have been much worse after the inning-ending double play by Contreras out of that jam. First 2 reached in this inning, back-to-back singles, and now back-to-back strikeouts.
There's with Chris Bryant and John Jay talking right there. John Jay's done a nice job for the Cubs.
A pitch in the dirt, and ball 1.
Provided a lot of leadership. It's not always to do when you come to a ball club new and really not having a regular spot in the lineup.
Here's a 1-0. Throw behind at first, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. What's interesting is the fine line for an organization when you bring up a guy like Kelly. How much will he play? And trying to keep him sharp and not stunting his growth.
I mean, that is a real tough question, especially how Gotti prepares himself to play every single day, wants to play every day.
Get down the right field line, and there's strike 1.
And Dan, I think every year it seems like Mike Matheny says, I'm going to give, he's a little older, Molina, give him more rest, but it doesn't seem like it ever materializes. Gotti was a late scratch with ankle discomfort that could pinch hit in this game. We'd have to think Chris Bryant could not pinch hit in this game.
2-1 pitch. So Arrieta out, this being his 16th career start against the Cardinals, and the first time in which he did not walk a batter.
I think maybe one of the things that Derek Lilliquist went out to Carlos and said, if you lose this pinch hitter, you're out of the game. We'll find out.
Pitch taken high. That's Martinez's first walk. Bases loaded for Jason Hayward.
Got Seagrass warming up. Here's the time to use him.
Martinez's spot, he's had 88 pitches, is due up 4th for the Cardinals. Could have a scenario where he gets Hayward fairly quickly. Cardinals go 1-2-3, and he's back out there for another inning.
Yeah, I mean, I think in my mind he deserves to stay out there, but he's got to retire Hayward and know that if his spot comes up, obviously either game.
Hayward chops it foul.
We're going to be pinch hit for him. It looks like another game where Carlos gets very little run support.
Inning started with a base hit by Schwarber to center, another one by Happ to center, back-to-back strikeouts, walk to LaStella. And the 0-1. Good play by Kelly.
Outstanding.
Rated as the best defensive catcher in all of the minor leagues.
Not just ball. I believe it hits the dirt, yeah, and it slides over. You're at a mercy because that breaking ball sometimes it bounces and then spins the other way. So you're going up to your right, and then the ball shifts to your left.
And the 1-1 pitch. 1-2 on Hayward.
101. So he knows that he's got to keep him right here, a one-run deficit. Breathe. That's one of the most important things for a pitcher. Sometimes you get so wrapped up you stop breathing. If you do it too long, you're not going to be here. In more ways than one.
Right. Wake up on the wrong side of the dirt. Here's a 1-2. Hayward puts it in play. A little bouncer to Young. Makes the play. Had to really concentrate there with Jerko ranging far to his left. So nice work by Martinez. Earlier in the game, it was a home run by Randal Grichuk to get the Cardinals on the board. He's due up second when we come back. Dealers donate $1,000 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation of Missouri. Pedro Strop will take over. He'll face Colton Wong, Randal Grichuk, and Carson Kelly for the Cardinals. Final line on Jake Arrieta. He goes 6 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs. Did not walk a man. Struck out 6. Wong today has struck out twice, and he's 0 for 2. That the lefties with that wipeout slider hitting just 161 against him.
Yeah, overall batters are 208 against him. He's been pitching very well of late.
First pitch to Wong is taken for a ball.
Has 96 holds. That's the most in Cub franchise history. And got underneath that valuable slider. Surprising that he has such success against left-handers. Saw him run the fastball in there. That's what he more than likely wants to do with the slider. A lot of times you want to get it up a little bit above the hands and bury it.
Three and 0. Could be another game that if the score doesn't change, it's a defensive miscue that cost the Cardinals. Thereby to Young, and that was an unearned run charged to Martinez.
Cardinals are trailing by 1, and there you see the walk. But when you get down to the battle of the bullpens, Cubs relievers are 15 and 12 with the 330. Cardinal bullpen 8 and 19. And ERA just at 4.
Solo home run by Grichuk. That was back in the second inning. Also flied to right. Zach Duke is getting loose in the Cardinals' pen.
New toy for Mike Matheny. He used him an awful lot after they acquired him from the White Sox in the trade deadline last year.
Strope's career ERA against the Cardinals is 4.61. Think of Greg Garcia's dramatic home run in St. Louis a couple of years ago off his Strope. Johnny Peralta, Cardinals down to their final strike here at Wrigley, gave up a game winner to St. Louis. 1 ball, 1 strike. Short lead at first by Wong. Cardinals trailing by a run.
I was looking at that too. Real short.
Too short.
Yeah, in my mind, it's too short. Even if you're not stealing.
It'll be interesting to see how the Cardinals want to play it tomorrow with John Lesnar on the mound. His issues throwing over. Now Chris Bosio is out to visit.
Did Tommy Pham find out that he does throw over?
Yeah, he found out last time we were here at Wrigley. So 2-1 to count. Carson Kelly on deck. And Stroke cannot find the strike zone. Dunsing, the lefty, the lone lefty they have in the Cubs pen, is back up and throwing. Look at that bullpen. You got coffee out there, donuts, bagels, exercise bikes, video. Got it all.
We had nothing.
Just get up and get a ball, right?
These guys, they kept their own ball, you know.
2-2.
Where's all the amenities?
Fire alarm there just in case.
Bag of balls and a rosin bag.
Get loose. The 2-2. I would think that the players do not want, at least the bullpenners don't want to be in that bullpen out there. You want to be around in the action a little bit.
Yeah, it's kind of a bad environment. They told me at the start of the season they didn't even have anything piped in there. You know, but now they have some, PA or something, or get a little crowd noise to feel like you're in a ballpark rather than in a prison.
See if the Cardinals want to run. The risky run is that Grichuk strikes out a lot. Contreras, one of the best arms behind home plate. He's thrown out 16. Not running, and there's your strikeout.
Yeah, I don't think you can run with his propensity to strike out.
StubHub, your ticket out to once-in-a-lifetime experiences, Cardinal games to amazing concerts to shows you just don't want to miss. Connects you with the world of live. StubHub, your ticket out, the official fan-to-fan ticket marketplace of the St. Louis Cardinals. Runner at first, here's Carson Kelly. Greg Garcia's at the on-deck circle. Here is the 0-1 pitch. Gets through Contreras. And Wong to second base.
Boy, that's a big break. I'll make it pay off.
So the Cardinals have the scoring run, or the tying run in scoring position.
There's that slider that It bounces, kind of spun back the other way just ever so slightly, and then goes right through the legs.
Sixth wild pitch of the year. Here's a 2-1 pitch to Kelly. Well, they've got the lefty up. Cardinals with 3 from the right side. They could call in the lefty, pull back Garcia, and then go with either Martinez, Voit, or Yadier Molina. Something to think about.
Sure. And, Joe Madden knows those options too.
Off the end of the bat, little squibber up the middle. Russell to his left and makes the play. And because of that, Carl Edwards Jr. has just gotten up and started to throw. Good play by Russell, ranging to his left.
It's amazing how young Russell still is and how good he is. Right off the end of the bat, so just doesn't have the steam to get through the infield, and from the outfield grass he throws out. Carson Kelly 0 for 3 in the day.
Well, you think again about the wild pitches. You also think about Garcia against this right-handed pitcher in Pedro Strop. Back in 2015, this was at Busch Stadium, first ever career home run in the big leagues for Greg Garcia. Tied the game in the 8th. Cardinals won the game in the 10th.
Surprised all of us. And then this year he's hit one of the longest home runs that the Cardinals hit this year. It was in Colorado.
462 feet. Here's a 1-0 pitch. 2 balls, no strikes. Carpenter on deck.
Off the back wall in the bullpen areas there at Colorado.
It's 3 for 5 with a home run. Interesting that Joe Madden stays with him.
Well, you'd rather have him face Garcia than Edwards face one of the Cardinal right-handed batters. I guess if the Cubs were going to add any players, more than likely it would be a reliever. Wants this ball down.
A little bit high, 3-1. Plaza Tire Service Fox Tracks.
Greg Garcia has that knack of getting on base.
May remember Garcia also had a walk-off hit by pitch against the Chicago Cubs, and the crowd will come alive. Garcia slowly hit to the right side, stroke to the bag. Something the Cardinals could not do yesterday, cost them a game. Strop does it here for the Cubs.
Last appearance was on the 19th against Oklahoma City. Pitched an inning there. He had 1 hit, 1 strikeout. He had 9 shutout appearances with 10 strikeouts in his rehab. Started an A-ball, got up to AAA, and here about 8 months.
Greeted with a line drive to left, but there's Tommy Pham. So welcome back, Zach Duke, who wears number 29, formerly worn by the great Chris Carpenter.
Yeah.
Miss some of that Chris Carpenter grit. Fun to watch.
What a Cardinal. What a presence on the mound. I mean, you knew who was in charge that day when he played.
No question. One of the great Cardinals ever. Statistically, he and Bob Gibson, the 2 best in postseason play. Wanted the ball, took it every 5th day through tremendous pain at times, more than we ever realized.
Matchup with his good buddy Phillies, you know, in the postseason there.
Roy Halladay,
and that seeing him slide headfirst, play at first base, touching the bag, and praying the runner doesn't step on his head.
Monday pitch arsenal here for Zach Duke. 2 balls, 1 strike. Rizzo with a base hit inside the first base line and an RBI back in inning number 5. Duke has it. And there's 2 away. But welcome back, Zach Duke. You're in a 1-run game against the arch rival Cubs, and you get 2, 3, and 4 in the lineup.
That's right. I mean, so far so good, but now his day is through. You get the first 2 batters, a switch hitter and the left-hander Rizzo, and Mike Matheny out to the mound. So Contreras coming up. Mike's going to go to the bullpen. Nice job, Zach Duke. Welcome back.
Sure, it's got to be a little emotional for him too. A lot of work put into that, coming back so quickly. Tommy John surgery, healthy enough to go, and he gets the first 2 here in the bottom of the 7th. Chevy called to the pen. It's Matt Bowman. Budweiser, upcoming schedule this weekend: the Chicago Cubs, Rockies, and Diamondbacks in St. Louis, on the road against Milwaukee. Very important time in the Cardinals schedule. Matt Bowman is in for St. Louis.
48th appearance.
As Contreras is trying to bunt his way on. Here's strike 1.
with 2 outs and nobody on. Matt Bowman says thank you for strike one.
Doing you a favor.
Here's the 0-1. Again trying to bunt his way on. Bowman bare hands and makes the play. We're through 7 here at Wrigley Field in Chicago. And the Cubs on top. It's 3-2. And that's one of the deals today for the Cardinals, and they've been active with roster moves up and down. Edwards, his 42nd appearance, a 2.11 ERA. What a weapon he has turned out to be for Joe Madden's club.
Look at the strikeouts and microscopic batting averages against. Very, very tough.
It was a 48th round pick in 2011 by Texas. We saw Seth Lugo pitch yesterday by the Mets. He was a 35th round pick in 2011. Only 5 from the 35th round beyond made it to the big leagues, and Cardinals facing 2 of them. And Lugo yesterday and Edwards here. He has a .98 ERA here at home. Strope, a scoreless 7. Mentioned earlier how the Cardinals have played a lot of tight games. They are 13 and 18 in 1-run games. Only the Phillies have more 1-run losses. Matt is 0 for 3. Pulls it foul into the Cardinal dugout. That may have hit Yadier Molina.
I went right through that opening right there. Oh, Martinez.
That's Jose Martinez.
Yeah. Boy, you don't see that.
Arbiter shaking his head, a little bit upset. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. The shift on here for the Cubs. And that's driven fair into the corner and right. Matt is thinking too, and the throw by Hayward won't be in time. A leadoff double for Carpenter. That's the tying run at second base.
That's big. Get yourself in scoring position. Nobody out right here, especially with Hayward and his throwing ability. Location on the breaking balls. And he stayed up and he hooks it down in the corner. Well, you would think it's going to be 2, but with Hayward out there, you never know.
And he took a chance sliding for it.
Exactly.
To make that play. If that gets by him, it's maybe 3.
But I think with his pedigree in the outfield, that he has a pretty good idea what he can and can't do, and another good play.
So here's Tommy Pham, a double back in the 3rd. With some hitters, depending on where you're at in the lineup, you'd say potentially bunt in this spot, but not with Tommy Pham.
No,
you would think.
Productive he's been, and particularly when you're on the road, his numbers are so much superior on the road than at home. And right now, he's one of your clutch performers.
Here's the 0-1. A little bit high. Seems like those calls have gone against the Cubs in this game. Those pitches just a bit up in the zone.
Tommy swung at the first one that was up in the zone.
Here's a 1-1 pitch. Fowler on deck. Dexter today 3 for 3. One, 2.
Frame and just whips the ball up there. Good stuff.
1-2 pitch. Kept in front. Nice play by Contreras. 2-2.
A guy in scoring position, it's so important to have the confidence that you can bounce the ball and know that your catcher's going to block it, keep it in front of him.
Carpenter at second base. Was his first hit at Wrigley this year. Had been 0 for 10. The 2-2 pitch. Inside, 3-2.
Lively fastball. Not a whip on that, and a really good downward curveball.
And he walked him. A double, a walk, and now Dexter Fowler. Dexter Fowler, his day, a base hit to left. Then with 2 outs, a double to score Tommy Pham, who had doubled with 2 outs as well. Base hit to center in the 6th. Stolen base number 4 after that, and then was left stranded. And he could come back to haunt his former team right here.
Carpenter out there at second base.
That's ball 1. Nobody out. 1 ball, no strikes.
How much pressure Mike Schultz going to find on his shoulders in a little bit?
You have to go back to 4 years ago, the last time that Fowler had a 4-hit day. And he's ahead in the count. 2 balls and no strikes. Chris Bosio out to visit again.
Old school Chris Bosio. I would think some of these conversations might be a bit humorous, as I don't think he minces words. Gets the attention of his pitching staff, and all the infielders want to come in and hear what he has to say. Part of it might be just the fact that, hey, if you throw a pitch in the strike zone and you get beat, so be it. But don't give the free passes. Don't be falling behind the count, and then you make a good hitter even better.
Bosio having words with the home plate umpire. Strop and Edwards have combined to throw 20 balls. So falling behind after Jake Arrieta did not walk a man. 2-0 the count here on Fowler. It's fouled back. Hector Rondon is up and throwing in the Cubs pen.
Fowler, a veteran, knows after pitching coach goes out and talks to a young pitcher and saying throw strikes, be ready for that first one. He fouled it back.
Runners at first and second. The 2-1 pitch to Dexter Fowler. Outside corner, he didn't like that. It's a big pitch. Instead of being 3-1, you're 2-2.
I think this one goes the Cubs' way, so not all of them, Danny, have run against the Cubs. That one against Fowler. Big difference, 3-1 and 2-2.
The 2-2 pitch. See Contreras calling for the slider time and again. Edwards was shaking him off.
If the pitcher doesn't want to throw it, he shouldn't throw it.
So the 3-2 pitch. He has now walked the bases loaded. A double, back-to-back walks, and still nobody out. And Jed Jerko coming up. And that'll be it for Edwards. Rondon throwing in the pen. A .98 ERA at home for Carl Edwards Jr. But today, some calls not going his way. Gave up the leadoff double. His afternoon is through. Bases loaded. Chevy called to the pen. Jerko coming up when we come back. Authority of the Cardinals. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. He has allowed one grand slam in his career. That was to Devin Mesoraco, but for the most part, very good with the bases loaded. Opponents 0 for 4 this season against him over their last 9.
And he's pitching very well. Last time out Wednesday, he struck out the side in the 9th inning. But also Jerko is 0 for 5 against Rondon.
Jerko 0 for 3 today. There's ball 1. This crowd a little bit restless here at Wrigley. Bases loaded, nobody out here in the top of the 8th. The 1-0. 1 ball and 1 strike. Again, a fine play by Contreras.
Jerko would walk around a little bit after that, expanded the zone. He's got 3 career grand slams this year. 12 RBIs, no slams, but 4 for 8 with the bases loaded.
The 1-1. 1-2.
Rondon, former closer for the Cubs, so they have some experience in the back end of ball games. Ray Davis is their closer right now, but now the crowd trying to come back alive. Jerko could silence him though.
2-2.
miles an hour with the fastball, and then those sliders are probably around 87, 88.
The 2-2. 3-2.
Oh boy.
Time called.
Milwaukee will be playing in Philadelphia tonight. They're just hoping the Cardinals and Cubs play all day and all night.
He walked him, and this game is tied, and still nobody out. The RBI for Jerko, number 50 this year. 3 consecutive walks. The Cubs pen has come in after Arrieta. They faced 8 hitters, and of the 8, 7 have gone to 3-ball counts. And still nobody out.
Just relax. Don't help him out.
Here's Paul DeYoung. And that's hit out of play. DeYoung today, pair of strikeouts. And also popped out with a man in scoring position. That was back in inning number 6. Game tied 3-3. 0-2 the count. Colton Wong is at the on-deck circle. Decent speed on the bases. Very good at third with Pham. Fowler at second. And Jerko at first base. The 0-2. DeYoung with a fly ball out to deep right center. This may go. It's caught in the ivy.
Ground rule double.
So a double that'll score 2. Happ can't do anything about it. Jerko will make sure and score around at third. They'll bring him back, but Paul DeYoung delivers for the Cardinals, and it's 5-3.
What a big hit right there. Young man is really kind of struggled on this road trip, hitting under 200, a lot of strikeouts, but his ability to hit the ball, power, and he can do this. Top of the strike zone, not easy, but he gets a good swing on it, and this ball disappears into the ivy, so you'll see Happ raise his hands telling an umpire that if you reach in there, then the ball's still in play. But if you throw your hands up, then it's a ground rule double.
Here's Colton Wong. The infield is brought in. The Cardinals have scored 3 here in the top of the 8th.
How about that on a 0-2 count? Yeah, pitch to the top of strike zone, throwing 98 miles an hour.
Good play again by Contreras. So that closes the book on Carl Edwards Jr. 3 runs and all earned. And again, a .98 ERA coming into play today for Jr. Carl Edwards Jr. here at Wrigley Field.
Add on.
The 2-ball no strike pitch to Wong is a check swing.
Couple strikeouts and a walk for Colton.
The oddity of today, Arrieta had always walked a Cardinal every game he's ever started. He had no walks today. The Cubs pen has walked 4. The 2-1 pitch. 3-1. Grichuk on deck.
The first couple innings with Arrieta, you thought this guy had great stuff, and it's going to be a tough day for the Cardinals. But the bullpen has allowed him back in.
Think about taking a strike here.
Probably a good way to do it, but they don't play baseball that way anymore.
3-1 pitch. Gets by Contreras. It's a ball, and the bases again will be loaded. Jerko did not have a very good read off of that. Almost looked like Contreras was crossed up, and some boos here at Wrigley. That's the 4th walk here in the 8th inning.
Let's watch him as almost like he crossed up it like a breaking ball and put the glove up in front of his mask. And
the batter will be Randall Grichuk.
boy, you just have to take advantage. Nobody out, the base is loaded. Just relax. Pressure's on them.
August 13th of last year, Randall Grichuk had a grand slam here. He's got the bases loaded, infield drawn in, and still nobody out. Pitch taken high. Inning started with a double by Carpenter. 3 consecutive walks. Double by DeYoung on an 0-2 pitch with the bases loaded to score 2. Colton Wong draws the walk, and now Grichuk ahead in the count. Here's a 1-0. 1 ball and 1 strike. Randall Grichuk back in the second, a solo home run. Now Justin Grimm is up and throwing. Two balls and 1 strike. Feel the tension here at Wrigley Field. The fan base clearly upset with what they're seeing out of the pen.
I don't know if you've noticed it too, but it seems like the temperature has dropped to quite a few degrees, where possibility of rain in the forecast.
33 pitches this inning and still nobody out. The 2-1 to Randall Grichuk. Breaks his bat, base hit into left. Jerko will score. DeYoung held up at third, and it's now a 6-3 St. Louis lead, and nobody out.
Kind of running in on the handle, so he gets sawed off right there, but muscles it through the left side of the infield. 1 base at a time. Still got the bases loaded, nobody out, and Madden's going to his bullpen again.
Grimm had been throwing. Rondon came in, faced 4 batters, couple of walks, a double, and a single. That's it for Hector Rondon. Justin Grimm, the right-hander, trotting in for the Cubs bullpen. Big inning for St. Louis. 4 runs and counting. The batter will be Carson Kelly. With the bases loaded, nobody out when we come back. Combination out of his bullpen after Jake Arrieta gave Chicago 6 strong innings, 5 hits, no walks, and now the bullpen 1 inning, 3 hits, giving up 4, but it's all the walks that stand out.
Mr. Grimm was recalled May 29th from AAA for his 3rd stint with the ball club. Held opponents scoreless in 14 of 18 outings, but probably think that Carson Kelly may have faced Grimm at Pacific Coast League this year.
That's it out of play. So the runners for the Cardinals, DeYoung, Wong, Grichuk all aboard. Luke Voigt is on deck. 6-3 our score. 0-1 pitch. 1 ball and 1 strike. Carson Kelly has never hit a grand slam in pro ball. Kelly with a fly ball into left center. Schwarber back at the wall, and it's off the wall. 2 runs will score. Grichuk racing to 3rd. Kelly to 2nd. Just a few feet away from that first ever grand slam. He'll take the double. 2 more runs score, and it's an 8-3 St. Louis lead.
You got that basket out there that is in front of the wall. If it hits in that basket, it's a home run. And it just got underneath it, but it got a really good carom that bounced away from both outfielders, left fielder and center fielder, and went towards center and not allowed him to get the double. Breaking ball, looked like he hit it right off the end of the bat. Would have got better wood on it, it would have carried. Schwarber back trying to make the catch and goes right beyond his reach. And there you see, here's the carom that goes away from Happ, the center fielder, allowing Carson to get to second base. Big play right there for Carson.
Grichuk was tagging up at first. That's why he didn't score on that play.
It's either going to be a home run or caught or like it did off the wall. Luke Voigt will pinch hit.
Infield in still. 5-run lead for the Cardinals. And nobody out. The 9th man to come to the dish for the Cardinals. Still nobody out. St. Louis has received 4 walks in this inning, and they've hit 3 doubles. The 1-0. 1 ball and 1 strike. Luke Voigt, a Cardinal fan, St. Louis native, has probably seen thousands of games here at this ballpark and now playing at Wrigley. Three and one the count.
Memorable at bat for him, like you say, so familiar with watching the rivalry of the Cardinals and Cubs, but do something that makes it special for you.
It's another walk.
Wow.
It's 5 walks in the inning. It all started with Matt Carpenter and his double into the corner and right off of Carl Edwards.
5 walks and 4 base hits. 3 of them extra base hits. 3 doubles.
Bases loaded and nobody out. This is where Matt Carpenter has been not only good but exceptional with the bases loaded in his career, and he's talked about it before. He says the game slows down. I'm able to slow it down. 588 his average, 60 RBIs in his career with the bases loaded.
And to me, it's because of his ability to work the count, not afraid to hit with 2 strikes, but the pressure's on the pitcher and fall behind the count makes him even more confident.
Here's a 1-0. Taps it foul. 1 ball and 1 strike. Cardinals came into this inning trailing by a run, now leading by 5. 1 ball and 1 strike. Carpenter rips it into right field. That ball is down for a base hit. Another run scores to make it 9-3, and still nobody out. The second hit in the inning for Matt Carpenter, and it's RBI number 46.
I think the Cub fans are rooting for John Jay. John Jay has made a pitching appearance this year for the Cubs. Grichuk making sure that ball got down, back and forth. And now it comes home.
Here's Tommy Pham on base twice. Double off the wall. Back in the third, walked and scored this inning. 10 straight have reached for the Cardinals.
Cardinals lost an earlier series here.
Tommy Pham, base hit into center. 1 run is in. Here comes Luke Voigt. He will score. The Cardinals just keep on rolling here in the top of the 8th. Pham, his second hit, on base for the 3rd time. RBIs 41 and 42.
A couple relievers that are having really good years. Their ERAs are going way up. Tommy's second hit of the game. Another multi-hit game for him. Been on base 3 times with a double, a walk, and now a 2-run single.
Runners at the corners. 11-3.
We're getting closer to John Jay.
A 9-run top of the 8th for St. Louis. First pitch to Fowler. Ground ball that's pulled foul. Most runs the Cardinals have scored in an inning this year. 9. Cardinals in-game box score and having some fun. They've been trailing 3-2, now leading 11-3. 0-2 the count on Dexter Fowler.
Edwards did not retire a batter charged with 3 earned runs. Rondon didn't retire a batter charged with 4 earned runs. Grimm so far hasn't retired a batter and has 2 earned runs.
0-2, a check swing. And have a day, Dexter Fowler. He's been on base 4 times, 2 singles, RBI double, a walk, and a run scored.
This trip back to Chicago is a little more fun than his first one.
Here's a 1-2. Fowler, diving stop by Rizzo. Throw to third. Oh, wow, what a play. That's an incredible play by Anthony Rizzo. He touched the bag at first, and then the throw to third. It doubles up Matt Carpenter.
Dexter doesn't realize that he touched first. The umpire's telling him you're out.
Touched it with his throwing hand, I believe. This little touch, there it is.
Yep. And then he saw the runner at third, and he's got a strong arm, fires it over to third, and they get the double play. I mean, Mike Matheny's, this won't last long.
Boy, what a play, though, by
heads
Rizzo.
Up.
Yep.
And think about it with the situation, Dan. You're out there for 45 minutes or whatever it is this inning is taken, and to come up with a defensive gem like that to help your team out.
Yeah, I'm sure not many realized he touched it with the throwing hand and then fires a strike. I mean, look at that throw. Perfect to get Carpenter. Boy, what a play by Rizzo.
Carpenter way on the grass trying to get back and dead out.
Here's Jed Jerko. Runner at second, Tommy Pham.
Why don't you do a recap of this inning?
How much time he got?
You got 35 seconds.
I'll let the postgame handle it. They'll be all over.
Oh, that's good luck, Sarah.
Last time the Cardinals scored 9 in an inning was against Chicago. That was in 2014. It was in the bottom of the 8th of a 13-4 win. Nearly to the backstop. Good play by Contreras.
Right shoulder is dislocated. No, his left.
A little bit low. Here's a 3-1 pitch to Jerko. And that's another walk. I'll tell you what, John Mozeliak and Will Mozeliak on the trip. There's John on the left, his son Will on the right. He was telling me it's a boys trip. Well, the boys got to be loving it right now. That is a happy president of baseball operations box. Will and John Mozeliak on their boys trip.
But you know, you really got to be careful. You just can't get too excited too soon, because if you do, the baseball gods make you pay.
Runners at first and second. Wild pitch. Contreras no throw. 6 walks in the inning.
Six walks, 6 hits.
Got to start thinking about history here.
Yeah.
And how many consecutive batters have reached in terms of the Cubs Cardinals rivalry. Runs scored maybe for St. Louis here at Wrigley. I mean, this is as rare as it gets.
So enjoy it if you're a Cardinal fan, right?
We're told this ties the most runs the Cardinals have ever scored in one inning here at Wrigley Field. Here's a 1-1. Paul DeYoung with one of the big hits in this inning. The bases loaded, and on an 0-2 pitch, a double that scored 2. It was 1962 the last time the Cardinals had a 9-run 8th inning.
Jerko walked to force in a run, and that tied at 3-3, and then DeYoung got the double off the right center field wall to score 2 for what appears to be the game-winning RBIs.
A swing and a miss, and DeYoung strikes out. Huge inning for the Cardinals. The crowd that cheers as we head to break. Cardinal and Cub fans. On Fox Sports Midwest is brought to you by Bud Light, famous among friends, and by Ford, the official cars and trucks of the St. Louis Cardinals. So the Cardinals put up a 9 spot in the top of the 8th. They lead it 11-3. The most runs ever given up in a half inning by the Cubs here at this ballpark. The Montreal Expos scored 12 September of 1985. And in any inning, they've given up 12 multiple times, happening on the road. But the most recent was in 2012 when the Cardinals did it to them at Busch Stadium. So there you go.
Let's hope Kevin Segrist didn't leave it all in the bullpen.
So Chevy called to the pen.
I don't think he would have, because I think he was up one time early, and then probably didn't get up this time until there were maybe 2 outs, which was a long wait in between. Pitched on the 19th, his 34th appearance, and I think now he's healthy and expect the results to be better. He was really impressive in his first outing since coming off the disabled list in New York.
And a late call and a strikeout of Schwarber, flips his bat down.
We talked about Segrist, or we started out talking about Arrieta throwing across his body. Pitcher's pitch right there on the black, but Segrist was talking about how he was throwing even more across the body than he normally did, and how it was putting strain on we had the cervical and the neck.
You shorten it up a little bit.
Well, instead of throwing as far across the body, now he's squared up a little bit, and it's allowing him to stay on top of the ball, get proper throwing instead of his arm dragging.
But we know when right, a weapon. He does believe his velocity will add a tick or two as we go along. Here's Ian Happ. The pitch in the dirt, 2 balls and 1 strike. Happ is 1 for 3. Cubs with 10 hits today, 3 runs. What will be lost in all of this, the fact that Carlos Martinez multiple times pitching out of jams could have led to runs or bigger innings.
And the fact that, kind of confounds his how many runs he gets when he starts. He only had 2 while he was out there for the 6th inning, trailing 3-2 until this 9-run 8th inning.
A 2-2 pitch. Back-to-back strikeouts. And the batter will be Addison Russell.
So far the velocity hasn't been quite all the way back, but I think his arm is freer, and so it's easier for him to throw pitches in the strike zone.
Popped up and out of play. A little bit low. There are 55 pitches in the top of the 8th. Cardinals pen 5 up, 5 down. Cubs pen 6 hits, 7 walks, and a whole bunch of runs. The 2-1 pitch. High fly ball lifted out to left center. Pham calling for it. Tommy's got it. Called him off the entire time. He was waving at Fowler the entire time. Hopefully he's all right. We head to the 9th. It's 11-3 Cardinals. Here's Colton Wong, leads it off against Grimm. 11-3 Cardinals here in the top of the ninth. A 9-run top of the eighth for the Cardinals. Wong slapping it out to left. Kyle Schwarber with the catch, and that's the first out. He brings in Grichuk.
Couple RBIs today for Grichuk. 2 runs scored. He hit his 10th home run.
Cardinals in that top of the eighth sent 14 batters to the plate. Received 6 walks. So 1 out and nobody on, and an 0-1 pitch to Randal Grichuk. The last guy you want to see hurt or dinged up at all is Tommy Pham.
Yeah. Just watch him all the way into the dugout, and it seemed like every step he took, it got better.
Here's a 1-1. Inside, 2 balls and 1 strike. Two and 2. Here's Tommy Pham trying to make sure he's all right, stretching. All the different issues he's had, you just never know.
You see a pinch hitter there, Mike Leake.
So he had called for it. It was hit a mile high, and Fowler came over. Now, you know, you're always taught as a center fielder, take charge, go get the ball.
But
that one is fairly routine, though. It looked like the Tommy Pham.
yeah.
And Grichuk draws a walk. So he's on base for the 3rd time. The top of the 8th, a lot of hits, a lot of walks, a lot of runs. Nine runs in that inning, 7th inning or later entering today's game. See the run differential. It's the last 2 seasons for the Cardinals. Mike Leake has grabbed a bat. He's at the on-deck circle. Carson Kelly at the plate.
The Cardinals have been outscored 7, 8, and 9 all season long.
Here's the 0-1.
That's why the bullpen has the sub 500 record.
And Kelly with a high fly ball. Right center. And the catch made on the track by Happ. Nissan drives to the game, 8th inning. DeYoung on an 0-2 pitch with the bases loaded. Ground rule double. Caught in the ivy. And then Carson Kelly making the start today. Almost a grand slam. That drove in 2. One of the 9-run top of the 8th. I can't believe Adam Wainwright is allowing this.
I think Adam kind of said, you know, I'm a more effective pinch hitter when the game's on the line.
There you go. And I'm starting tomorrow.
Yeah. Call on me when it's important.
Here's the 0-1. Now 0-2. Seung-Hwan Oh has been getting loose in the Cardinals' pen. Playing behind the runner at first with this big lead, 11-3. It's a count of 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Now Mike Leake still saying hasn't regained his weight and his full strength since having the shingles last year. It's awful slight, doesn't he? One day on the homestand, Eric Lowenquist, or I guess it was in Pittsburgh, said that Mike Leake weighs 140 pounds. I thought he was kidding, but maybe he does.
Held on to and a strikeout of Leake. We get to the bottom of the 9th. All Cardinals now 11-3. To the pen. 41st appearance of the year. Jim will have all the post-game reaction. There's always something that happens between these two teams, especially at Wrigley. Cardinals with that 9-run top of the 8th. And a couple of things I'm very curious about, and I'm sure Jim will talk to Tommy Pham, who's back out in left field, just how he's feeling. But another player to think about is Jose Martinez.
Yeah, that's the one I'm more concerned about.
It's a foul ball and a hard hit ball that went into the Cardinal dugout off the bat of Carpenter and caught Martinez.
Like he was being helped to the locker room after that ball. Couldn't tell where it hit him, but serious enough to have a trainer help him into the clubhouse. Might wonder why O is pitching an 11-3 ball game. And I mean, to me, you know, this is an opportunity for him to kind of get right. Go out there. Plus, you've been used a lot of relievers. You don't want to use Tyler Lyons. You may need him tomorrow. Also, Brevia pitched 3 innings the other day. So it's an opportunity for O to kind of sharpen his skills.
Switch hitting catcher Victor Caratini on deck. And Baez looks at a ball low. Also, Yadier Molina was unavailable to start this game. Soreness in his ankle. Fouled back. And the 2-2. Up the middle, base hit. Always talk about exit velocity. That had Some miles per hour behind that shot into center.
And such an intriguing player. Great defensively, and he's got some offensive potential and power. He's done a nice job of cutting down on the strikeouts. When he first came up, it was 50% or more was he was going to strike out.
It's 97 off the bat, left-handed batter up, so Carpenter playing behind the runner Baez. Left-handed batters have been a cause of frustration many times for Seung-Hwan Oh this year. Here's the 0-1.
He's a switch hitter. All three of his hits have come batting left-handed and 0 for 1 right-handed. Caratini. That may be an area where they might want to upgrade also. Catching department.
Some talk today here at the ballpark prior to the first pitch. The Cubs may be in on Yu Darvish. Add to their starting rotation.
Texas is 5 games under 500, but 18 games back. As Houston's running away with that one.
We'll see Jose Quintana Sunday night. Tomorrow, Wainwright and Lester. Should be a fun matchup with those two.
Matchup tomorrow with Wainwright, 11-game winner.
Here's a 1-2. Got him. First out here in the bottom of the 9th.
Good fastball from O. Up and away. It's a strikeout. It also is an opportunity too to see that O face some lefties and maybe get a little confidence.
I'm sure that's part of the equation here.
Sure. I'm saying you've got to use your head when you're in the bullpen and understand why somebody using you in this situation. And it's really for your own benefit.
Hayward pulls it foul. Went with the changeup, 0-2. Cardinals have turned a couple of double plays. See if Hayward grounds to second and get that double play.
I think Mike Matheny doesn't want O to have a long inning.
Well, double play would alleviate that.
Yeah.
Here's a 1-2. Here's your ground ball hit to the right side, and Hayward is aboard. 10th there on Carpenter.
Not hit hard, so you never were going to get 2, but you should have got 1. O recovered, ball came up, hit him with the heel of the glove, and pops out.
So runners at first and second. And Ben Zobrist the batter. Couple of hits in this game. Ground ball base hit into right. Hold the runner at third. It's Baez, held up late. And the bases are loaded here for the Cubs. Almora will be the batter. Bases loaded and only one out.
Rizzo's spot in the order. A left-hand hitter who's going to have success against O this year. Has worked for the Cardinals' advantage.
So one out, bases loaded. Almora with a fly ball out to center. Fowler will make the catch. Runner tags from third. Hayward stays put at second base. So with 2 on, there's 2 outs. And Contreras will be the batter. .365 with runners in scoring position this year. Ground ball to third, backhanded by Jerko, and the Cardinals take game 1 as he steps on the bag. The Cardinals use a 9-run top of the 8th, and they take game 1 by the final of 11-4.
Game that you look at the lopsided score, you didn't realize how close it was for the first 7 innings.
Well, Randall Grichuk back in the big leagues, and a big afternoon. Budweiser player of the game. He goes 2 for 4. And the Cardinals use that big top of the 8th to win game 1. Post-game show is next.